there's a photograph that tells you everything you need to know about Catherine's future. It was taken in April 2013, just 2 years after her wedding. She's recording her first video message for charity, visibly pregnant with Prince George and sitting beside a vase of daffodils. But look closer. On the desk, in an engraved silver frame, sits a black and white photograph of one woman, the Queen Mother. Not the Queen, not Diana, the Queen Mother. And in that single deliberate choice, Catherine revealed the blueprint she's been following for the past 15 years. A blueprint written not in words, but in diamonds, pearls, and the quiet language of royal jewels that speak across generations. When Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon finally said yes to the Duke of York in 1923, after turning him down twice, she could never have imagined the extraordinary life that awaited her. She was marrying a second son, destined for a quiet life away from the throne. But 13 years later, a constitutional crisis would thrust her husband onto the throne as King George VI, and Elizabeth would become the woman we remember as the Queen Mother, one of the most beloved figures in British royal history. Fast forward to 2011, and another commoner is walking down the aisle of Westminster Abbey. Catherine Middleton is about to become the Duchess of Cambridge, and like Elizabeth before her, she's entering a world where every choice carries weight, where jewelry isn't just adornment, but a language of continuity, duty, and connection. What's remarkable is how deliberately Catherine has looked to the Queen Mother as her guide. From the very tiara she wore on her wedding day to the necklaces that grace her throat at state banquets, Catherine has been systematically wearing the Queen Mother's jewels, learning the lessons they carry and preparing herself for the day she will stand beside William as Queen Consort. Today we're going to trace this extraordinary mentorship across time, a relationship conducted not through words, but through the jewels that connect two women separated by a century, yet united by the same impossible challenge: how to be a commoner who becomes a queen. The wedding day message. Let's start at the very beginning, because even on her wedding day, Catherine was already signalling who her role model would be. The tiara she chose, the Cartier Halo, wasn't just beautiful. It was a deliberate link to the Queen Mother's story. This delicate creation of diamonds and scrollwork was commissioned in 1936 by the Duke of York as an anniversary gift for his wife, Elizabeth. She wore it during one of the most turbulent periods in royal history. Just months after receiving it, her brother-in-law, King Edward VIII, abdicated the throne to marry Wallis Simpson. Overnight, Elizabeth's husband became King George VI, and she became Queen Consort, a role she had never wanted and felt monumentally unprepared for. The Halo Tiara was photographed on Elizabeth during this crisis, and its image was splashed across newspapers and printed on commemorative china ahead of the 1937 coronation. It became, quite literally, the face of stability during national upheaval. 7 years later, in 1944, Elizabeth gave this tiara to her daughter, the future Queen Elizabeth II, as an 18th birthday present. It became a starter tiara for young royal women. Princess Margaret wore it to the 1953 coronation, and Princess Anne wore it for her first tiara appearances in the late 1960s. When Catherine chose it for her wedding day in 2011, she was joining that tradition. But she was also doing something more profound. She was acknowledging that she, like the Queen Mother before her, was a commoner entering the royal family, and she would need to forge her own path with grace and determination. The Lotus Flower, a lesson in agency. The second tiara Catherine adopted from the Queen Mother's collection tells an even more powerful story, one about a woman's agency within the rigid structures of royalty. In April 1923, the Duke of York gave his bride an elaborate necklace of diamonds and pearls as a wedding gift. It was beautiful, expensive, and chosen with care. But within 6 months, Elizabeth made a remarkable decision. She had the entire necklace dismantled. The diamonds and pearls were removed and reset into something entirely new: the Lotus Flower Tiara. Think about that for a moment. A young woman, just married into the royal family, confident enough to take her husband's wedding gift and completely reimagine it according to her own vision. The result was this romantic, delicate tiara featuring lotus flowers set within diamond arches, accented with lustrous pearls. It was quintessentially 1920s, but it was also quintessentially Elizabeth, a piece that expressed her own taste, her own style, her own will. The Queen Mother passed this tiara to Princess Margaret in 1959, and Margaret wore it regularly for decades. After her death in 2002, it returned to the royal vaults, where it remained unseen for years. Then, in 2013, Catherine appeared wearing it at the diplomatic reception at Buckingham Palace. She wore it again for the Chinese state banquet in 2015. And in doing so, she was absorbing a crucial lesson: that even within the constraints of royal duty, a woman can assert her own vision and create something beautiful that reflects who she truly is. The Strathmore Rose, a centennial tribute. If you want to understand just how deeply Catherine studies royal history, look no further than her choice of tiara for the South Korean state banquet in November 2023. The Strathmore Rose tiara was a wedding gift to Elizabeth from her father, the Earl of Strathmore, in 1923. It featured a delicate garland of wild diamond roses that could be worn in 2 ways, as a traditional tiara or in the fashionable 1920s bandeau style, low across the forehead. Elizabeth wore it frequently in her early years as Duchess of York, but after becoming Queen Consort in 1937, she set it aside in favour of grander jewels. For nearly 100 years, this tiara remained hidden. Rumours circulated that it had fallen into disrepair, but when it appeared in exhibitions and in Hugh Roberts' authoritative book on royal jewels, it was revealed to be in perfect condition. It had simply been waiting. Catherine's choice to wear it in November 2023 was no accident. It was exactly 100 years after the Earl of Strathmore gave it to his daughter. And Catherine didn't just wear the tiara, she commissioned a bespoke Jenny Packham gown with embroidery that echoed the floral motif of the tiara itself. This required months of planning and coordination. This is Catherine at her most sophisticated, using jewellery not just as decoration, but as a way to honour history, mark significant anniversaries, and demonstrate that she understands the weight and meaning of what she wears. The Indian circlet, the ultimate symbol. But perhaps the most significant moment in Catherine's jewellery journey came in December 2025, when she appeared at the German state banquet wearing Queen Victoria's Indian circlet. This tiara is extraordinary for several reasons. It was designed by Prince Albert himself for Queen Victoria, taking inspiration from Mughal architectural designs showcased at the Great Exhibition. It's designated as an heirloom of the crown, meaning it's traditionally reserved only for queens and future queens. The Queen Mother loved this tiara so much that although it should have passed to Queen Elizabeth II in 1952 with the other crown heirlooms, she was allowed to keep it until her death in 2002. It was her signature piece, worn for some of her most important moments, including her 80th birthday celebrations. After the Queen Mother's death, Queen Elizabeth II wore it only once, in 2005. For the next 20 years, it remained in the vaults, unseen. When Catherine appeared in it, the message was unmistakable. According to royal historian Kate Mancy, Catherine chose the tiara herself, deliberately selecting it for the German state banquet because of its German roots, Prince Albert's design. This level of thoughtfulness, this understanding of symbolism and history, is exactly what the Queen Mother exemplified. But there's a deeper message here. By allowing Catherine to wear a crown heirloom traditionally restricted to reigning queens, King Charles and Queen Camilla are signalling her future role. They're preparing her, step by step, for the day she will stand beside King William V. The necklaces, completing the education. Catherine's education in the Queen Mother's jewellery extends beyond tiaras. She's also been entrusted with some of the most significant necklaces in the collection. At the Dutch state banquet in 2018, Catherine wore Queen Alexandra's wedding necklace, a magnificent cascade of diamonds and pearls that King Edward VII commissioned for his bride in 1863. This necklace passed to the Queen Mother, who wore it constantly for 60 years, often pairing it with her grand Greville tiara. After her death, it disappeared from public view for 16 years. When Catherine finally wore it, paired with the lover's knot tiara, it was a breathtaking moment of continuity. Here was a necklace that had adorned three queens, Alexandra, the Queen Mother, and Queen Elizabeth II, now gracing the neck of the future queen. Even more significant was Catherine's appearance at the coronation of King Charles III in May 2023. She wore a diamond festoon necklace that King George VI had commissioned in 1950, using diamonds designated as heirlooms of the crown by Queen Mary. Both the Queen Mother and Queen Elizabeth II wore this necklace, and now Catherine has joined that lineage. The fact that Charles and Camilla opened the Crown Heirloom collection to Catherine is profound. These aren't just beautiful jewels, they're symbols of sovereignty, traditionally reserved for the monarch and consort. By granting Catherine access, they're acknowledging her importance in the current reign and her preparation for her eventual role. The brooches, personal touches. The Queen Mother's influence on Catherine extends to smaller, more personal pieces as well. The diamond maple leaf brooch, a gift to the Queen Mother from King George VI to commemorate the historic 1939 Royal Tour of Canada, has become one of Catherine's signature pieces for Canadian visits. The Queen Mother wore this brooch with immense pride. That 1939 tour was a turning point for her and her husband, helping to secure crucial support before World War II. When Catherine wears it, she's honouring that history and maintaining the Crown's relationship with the Commonwealth. Similarly, Catherine has worn the shamrock-shaped gold and emerald brooch belonging to the Irish Guards. The Queen Mother wore this brooch in 2000 at the regiment's centenary service. Both she and the regiment were celebrating their 100th birthdays that year. When Prince William became Colonel of the Irish Guards, Catherine began wearing the brooch to regimental events. In 2022, she was named Colonel herself, and the brooch has become her signature piece for Irish Guards occasions. The bracelet and earrings, everyday elegance. Catherine has also incorporated the Queen Mother's more understated pieces into her wardrobe. The Art Deco diamond bracelet that Queen Mary bequeathed to Queen Elizabeth II in 1953 has appeared on Catherine's wrist at major events like the Chinese State Banquet in 2015 and charity dinners. The diamond quatrefoil bracelet, worn by both the Queen Mother and Queen Elizabeth II, made a memorable appearance on Catherine at the 2019 BAFTAS, paired with Diana's diamond and pearl earrings. And the sapphire and diamond fringe earrings, which the Queen Mother wore occasionally in the 1980s and 1990s, have become regular features in Catherine's jewellery rotation, appearing at her annual Christmas concert and various state banquets. So what is Catherine learning from this systematic wearing of the Queen Mother's jewels? First, she's learning about continuity and tradition. Each piece she wears connects her to the women who came before, not just the Queen Mother but Queen Mary, Queen Alexandra and Queen Victoria. She's learning that being a royal woman means being a custodian of history, a living link between past and future. Second, she's learning about symbolism and communication. The Queen Mother understood that jewellery speaks a language all its own. When she wore certain pieces to certain events, she was sending messages about duty, about the Commonwealth, about the enduring strength of the monarchy. Catherine is becoming fluent in that same language. Third, she's learning about restraint and patience. Notice that Catherine doesn't wear these pieces constantly. She chooses them carefully for specific occasions when their historical resonance will have the most impact. This is the Queen Mother's lesson. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is wait for exactly the right moment. Fourth, she's learning about personal style within royal constraints. Just as the Queen Mother transformed her wedding necklace into the Lotus Flower Tiara, Catherine is learning how to honor tradition while expressing her own personality. The way she pairs these historic pieces with modern gowns, the way she coordinates embroidery with tiara motifs. This is Catherine finding her own voice while respecting the past. And finally, she's learning about the weight of duty. The Queen Mother never wanted to be queen. She turned down the Duke of York twice because she understood what royal life would demand. But when duty called, she answered with grace, strength, and an unwavering commitment to service. Catherine, who also came from outside the royal family, is learning that same lesson, that being queen means putting the needs of the monarchy above personal desires, that it means sacrifice and service, but that it can be done with elegance and warmth. The Queen Mother died in 2002, 9 years before Catherine married into the royal family. They never met. And yet, across the span of time, through the medium of diamonds and pearls, the Queen Mother is teaching Catherine everything she needs to know about being queen. Every time Catherine fastens the clasp of Queen Alexandra's necklace, every time she settles a tiara onto her head, every time she pins a brooch to her dress, she's having a conversation with the past. She's listening to the lessons that these jewels carry, absorbing the wisdom of women who face the same impossible challenge she now faces: how to be a commoner who becomes a queen. And here's what's so moving about this story. Catherine is listening. She's not just wearing beautiful jewelry, she's studying it, understanding it, using it to prepare herself for the role that awaits her. When the day comes that she stands beside William as queen consort, she will do so wearing the jewels of the women who came before her, carrying their strength, their grace, and their unwavering commitment to duty. The Queen Mother's greatest legacy isn't the jewels themselves, it's the lesson they teach. That true queenship isn't about crowns and tiaras. It's about service, sacrifice, and the quiet strength to carry the weight of history with grace. And Catherine, piece by piece, jewel by jewel, is proving that she's learned that lesson well. Which of the Queen Mother's jewels do you most hope to see Catherine wear next? Do you think she's ready for the role that awaits her? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey through royal history and the powerful connections between these remarkable women, please give this video a like. It truly helps others discover these stories. And subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our next exploration into the jewels, the history, and the extraordinary women who shaped the British monarchy. Thank you for watching, and until next time, remember, the most powerful legacies are the ones passed down with love, worn with purpose, and carried forward with grace.